Yeah, Deepak.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning, tenors and visitors. Uh, it is with great honor that I welcome you all to 10 the Entrepreneurs Network. Our acting chairman, Mr. Rahul Amrute, is not present today. So I, Deepak Kapoor, for the interim, share the responsibility of the chairmanship. In my task, I am ably supported by Manoj Tahiliani, the secretary, Manoj Patode, the relationship manager, and Ramkumar, who heads our social media. The single-minded focus of 10 is to help entrepreneurs from different business fields to come together and succeed. To know more about 10, I would now request Mangesh to share the 10 AV.
Yeah, Deepak.
Over the last decade, Thane has grown from a
Ram, you can see the
Thane,
screen, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maharashtra's major industrial town, fastest growing and slated to be the most happening commercial hub. Over the last decade, Thane has grown from a small suburban town to a large, self-sustaining metropolis. Proximity to the financial capital of the country has extended ample opportunities to Thane for becoming the richest district in Maharashtra, with potent factors like well-planned infrastructure and low cost of operation. With growing opportunities and upcoming business ventures comes the growing need for business networking to learn, to explore, to connect, and to share avenues for mutual growth. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Network, popularly known as 10. Established in 2010 with the intent of providing a platform for entrepreneurs to share their experience, to learn, and to educate fellow entrepreneurs, along with generating business opportunities for mutual growth. Our motto: connect, breakthrough, and prosper.
In 2009, basically, I was totally confined to the four walls of my own retail outlet. Probably that time I was feeling the need to get out of that those binded four walls. So there was a business networking group. I joined that, and after 1.5 years, basically there was some disconnect with that particular group. So we wanted to start something which was more Indianized. We wanted to do something to build a community of entrepreneurs. And in 2010, we started this 10 Entrepreneurs Network.
10 is a close-knit community of different business verticals across industries.
10 ने मुझे अभी जो फ़ायदा मिला है, काफ़ी फ़ायदा मिला है. बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ भी मुझे काफ़ी मिली है 2009 से. ग्रोथ काफ़ी हुआ है.
I love 10 as a network because it is very different from the other business networks what you see, and it has helped me a lot in my overall development for my business, for my relations.
And what I found, people around us are all wanted to grow in their business and help the society around. And I am so happy to join the 10.
After coming here, I found a different friendship, a different support system.
10 members contribute connections, ideas, and time to help 10 grow. Members are rewarded with training workshops, insights, network, and camaraderie offered by other like-minded entrepreneurs. They meet alternate Wednesdays from 7:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m.
What I liked about 10 is more of a kind of a learning platform. So I learned a lot from 10, through different sessions, different workshops.
What I like about 10 is core functionality, which is continuous learning for entrepreneurs. That is, we can say it is a core function of 10 on which it operates.
10 has been extremely beneficial to me in enhancing my personality and making me equipped to face the challenges as an entrepreneur.
Connecting, breakthrough, and prosper, which is the mantra of 10, is something which I was seeking for in my business career.
10 conducts activities such as 10 Connect session, open minds, outdoor meetings, and annual conclave. 10 Connect session provides a robust platform to its members for learning and sharing experiences, one-on-one interaction, apart from addresses by internal and esteemed guest speakers. 10 Engagement also extends to events such as open minds, where established entrepreneurs and business owners are invited to share their life lessons and growth stories while interacting with live audience. It's an event that Thaneites eagerly wait for. Outdoor meetings are fun coupled with learning. It aims at increasing member bonding and interactions beyond regular meetings. It includes site visits, visiting fellow members' workplace, and short outings which are extremely high on fun quotient.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, they are exactly following that. That really brings me to here.
Since inception, 10 members have transacted more than 275 crores of business with its members and connects beyond 10. As we move ahead in this path of connecting for mutual growth, we look forward to more heads, more hands, and more hearts to come together. We welcome you to attend the 10 Connect session to experience entrepreneurial energy, creativity, and motivation.
Let's give our classic 10 clap to 10, which goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 twice.
10. The Entrepreneurs Network. Connect, breakthrough, prosper.
Thank you, Mangesh.
Yeah, Deepak.
Thank you, Mangesh. Now I request the secretary of our group, Mr. Manoj Tahiliani, to introduce and welcome speaker of the day, Mr. Ramkumar Srinivasan. Yeah, Manoj.
Thank you, Deepak. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our today's 10 web session. Topic for today's webinar is on 5 steps to getting started with high growth marketing funnel. Friends, Forrester research contends that companies generate 50% more sales when they excel at moving leads downstream and usually do it with 33% lower cost. To know more on this topic today, we have our own 10 member and founder of site2host.com. Let us all welcome Mr. Ramkumar Srinivasan. Mr. Ram, please take over.
Thank you, Manoj,
for
the introduction. Welcome to all the participants to our today's session. Let me get started with without any further delay. Friends, I'm Ramkumar Srinivasan, founder of site2host.com. I run a digital web agency which is based in Thane, Mumbai. Today, I'll be talking on this particular topic, the 5 steps to your first growth marketing funnel. And this is something which is, I believe, which is important for all SMEs who want to scale and grow their business in a faster manner. Let's make this session slightly interactive. How many of you all have heard for the first time the term high growth marketing funnel? Or you heard of it, but you really are not much aware about what it means. You're intrigued by what it means at the end of the day. How many of you all are like that? If it is so, just type in the chat box, yes out over there, so that I get to know what my audience is all about for the day, and it sets the stage rolling for today. Yep. Just type yes over there if you have just come across this term for the first time, or if you have come across it but really didn't know what it stood for. Just type a yes out over there. And it helps me to get a feel of the audience, plus it helps us get the energy for the day in place. Okay, I'll give you 2-3 seconds just to type yes out over there, and then we move on from there. Okay, that's a bit of a good number of yes that we have out there. Now let's look at what marketing, traditionally marketing used to encompass so far. Actually, not so far. I think high growth marketing funnel has been there for the last 10 years for that matter, but it's being used more at the top level and very less at the SME level for that matter. But let's look at what traditional marketing typically encompasses. It typically encompasses creating awareness about your company's products, company as a brand itself with the targeted audience out over there, and acquiring the leads of those customers. That's what it primarily would encompass. And we had various mediums through which we would create awareness, like paid advertisements in newspaper, TV ads, conducting workshops, participating with various industry forums, etc., through which awareness was created. Maybe distributing leaflets in a certain locality if your business is more of a local nature, like a food restaurant, etc., and getting the initial set of customers who are interested in your products or services, and then passing it on to the telecalling and sales team to take it from there and get the activation done and so on. So the remaining segments, would not be typically looked at by the marketing team in terms of activating the customer, the retention of the customer, revenue generation, what's happening out there, and the referral itself used to be more of a sales exercise, where the sales executive would ask the existing customers whether they have any referrals to pass, and so on. Actually, now let's look at the growth marketing funnel. So how different is growth marketing funnel? And growth marketing funnel typically encompasses all these stages across the organization, right from the awareness and acquisition, definitely yes, but it also looks at helping the customer to buy the product, to decide on buying the product, as well as buying the product at that particular point of time, maybe by offering a discount, maybe by having some kind of tie-ins in place in terms of bonus offers, etc. We'll be looking at more of these as we go through this presentation as of today. Looking at how to retain the customers by sharing various more activities, doing a loyalty program, and so on. Looking at the revenue side of things, whether the marketing efforts versus the revenue, is it feasible to keep running this kind of a marketing exercise and have a steady profit at the end of the day. Have a referral marketing in place, which is driven by the marketing itself rather than being the sales team would also be doing their part at the end of the day, but irrespective of whether they do it or not do it, the marketing team still ensures that referrals are being got through various different activities such as survey forms, etc., and the customer feedback, the customer referrals are all being collected on a regular basis from recently won customers, from customers who have been there with us for a certain period of time, and so on. So it's more of a high level activity which looks at the entire organization landscape and looks at how we can maximize the sales and how we can maximize the profit, how we can maximize the referrals. Maximization is primarily what marketing is all about. A typical funnel of marketing typically looks like this. On the left-hand side, you can see that you have the get customers, and on the right-hand side, we have the grow customers section. And then there is a lot of activities that we need to do to get a customer, and there are a lot of activities that we need to do to grow the customer, grow the customers. So when we look on the left-hand side, we have, we create articles, we publish it in various offline media as well as social media. We participate in various event activities, etc., conduct workshops, and so on. And we acquire a set of customers who are interested in our product offering at that particular point of time. And we do a lot more activities thereafter to ensure that the customer is able to consider our a product being able to solve their problem and able to choose us over other competitors out there and end up buying our particular product. That is the activation stage. Once the customer has purchased our product, we don't leave him out over there compared to the traditional funnels. We take it further. We keep engaging the customer in terms of various activities like blogs, RSS emails, loyalty programs, contest events, outreach programs, sharing more product updates if they are coming in at any point of time. We also have a product ladder which we typically create so as to upsell customer, because once a customer has come in, he already trusts your organization. He's acquainted with the way your company works. It becomes easier for you to upsell products across to him, cross-sell products across to him, across different other categories, generate referrals through the existing customer, and then take the exit referrals and again put it on top of the funnel on the left-hand side, so as to again start the entire process with the new referral that you have got and the new prospect that you have got through your existing customer. So it's kind of building a loop system out over there and thereby triggering a high growth activity for the entire organization. We will be looking at some of the aspects of how we can get started with the marketing itself. I do believe that most of them have a solid sales team on the ground, which helps them to, which also does majority of these activities, but it's more of a one-on-one kind of an approach. Whereas with the marketing activity, it's more of one-to-many or one-to-a-few targeted segment-based approach at the end of the day. Now, let's look at why is growth marketing funnel important for any organization, so as to establish the stage that what we are doing is something which is really essential and not just a frill activity just because we like to do something out at the end of the day. A high growth marketing funnel ensures a steady supply of leads. So you don't have a feast and famine approach. You got a customer, you got some big order, there's a lot of money flowing in the organization, then your entire team starts working on delivering to the customer. And then once you're finished with the delivery, you understand that there is no new customer that you have to look at. And again, you start approaching fresh set of customers. So there is a famine period in that particular time frame because customers don't come and purchase immediately. They need to be wooed into the entire process. So again, there is a dull period in your business, and again, there is a feast and so on. So you have a feast and famine approach that we call it, which is not what we want for our business. We want that there is a continuous and steady supply of leads every month so that we are able to generate and reach our targets month on month. We also need a high conversion. Having leads is a good thing, but without conversions, it means only a cost-based exercise at the end of the day. So conversions are very important for every organization.
Ram, sorry to interrupt you. We are getting requests from the participant. Can you just go a little bit slow, please?
Okay, definitely. Sure. So you need to focus on high conversions. You need to, it helps you to increase your sales volume, and it helps you to increase the average revenue per customer. Why? How do we increase the average revenue per customer? Because right now we are not only selling him one product, but we are also having a product ladder in place where we are able to take him up the ladder and sell him, a few more things out there. Like if you look at a dentist for that matter, you may go to him for a teeth cleaning and then a teeth whitening and then maybe a regular 6 monthly checkups. These are the basic things, and then there are the cosmetic things that you have in terms of teeth protection, look good feel factor, teeth replacement, and so on. There's so many things that he's able to sell to you once he attracts you and is able to build your trust that he's a good dentist for you. Similarly, you need to have your own product ladder in place and be able to take the customer up the ladder and thereby increase the average revenue per customer. In my own business, we start from as simple as a domain registration where we get just 50 rupees as our income from a customer, and then we tell him that what do you do with a domain? Why don't you take a hosting space, have an under construction page, and opt for a few email IDs to show, give a professional look and feel to the customer. With that in place, then we tell him that why don't you go for a decent website to increase your so that whenever you don't need to repeat the same things to your end customer. It is easy for you to pass on your web link to the customer rather than tell what you do again and again to the end customer, to all the prospects who inquire about your business. So in that particular manner, we are able to take him onto website, and from there to a digital marketing, maybe a backup program, hosting, whatnot. Actually, we do a lot of upsells and cross sells all the time, and that helps us to have a higher average revenue per customer. It helps us to lower the customer acquisition cost, because initially when we are selling a domain, our customer acquisition cost is really very high. In fact, we have made a loss. It's only when we upsell that we end up making a profit. But it does help us to lower the customer acquisition cost. It helps us to build a better buying experience. Typically, customer buys in and it doesn't need to be sold. If your marketing funnel is implemented correctly, it helps you to reach out to more number of customers at one go. And it also means that the customer is convinced about buying your product. He does not being sold your product at the end of the day. So these are some things which are really important for you to look at why to have a marketing funnel in place. Now, things that you need to know when you're getting started is primarily is that you have these are some basics that you need to have in place even before you think about marketing. In a sales funnel, you may not have all these things in place. You learn these things as you keep going along, actually. but once you have your sales working optimally for you, and that is the point of time that you decide to get into marketing. Because if your sales is not happening, it just means that you haven't got your product, the target segments and the different things in place exactly, the delivery method, a lot of the other things in place. And if you don't have these things in place, going to marketing will burn your fingers, because people will end up being dissatisfied, which means that you will get a bad name quicker in the market than you should. So get your sales really streamlined first, and when you have your one-on-one sales streamlined, and you know how to identify the target customer, how to go behind him, what to talk to him, how do you take him through the curve, and how do you sell it across to him. That is where you decide to get into marketing, because now you know that how does your targeted client persona think, what are their pain areas, what are the things that they look forward from your solutions, and that is where you have created something which exactly meets their requirements at the end of the day. So a targeted client persona, if I were to give an example, just look at who would be an ideal client for a Royal Enfield bike vis-a-vis maybe a Hero Honda bike. Are the clients going to be the same? Who would typically end up buying in your persona? Can you identify, can you visualize who would end up typically buying Enfield bike, and who are the people who typically end up buying a Hero Honda bike? Can you identify these kind of people? So maybe persons who are more mileage conscious, people who want to go from one location to the other in a reasonable price, who want low maintenance. These are the kind of people who are going to purchase this set of products, the Hero Honda bike. People who are wanting to more of the emotional benefits and not the functional benefits. They want to showcase that they have arrived in the market. They want to showcase that they are kind of glamorous, they are kind of a different persona altogether. They are the kind of people who are going to typically opt for an Enfield bike. They don't mind the mileage as much. They definitely want good mileage, but they're okay with slightly lesser mileage. They're okay with the maintenance cost being slightly higher out over there. But they are different client persona altogether. And if you look at these two companies, you would be very clear that the kind of places where Hero bike comes up, what kind of ads that they come up, the kind of product line that they come up, they're targeting a separate client persona. They are not doing a do it kind of I want all clients kind of marketing. It never works in that manner. Similarly, look at maybe a client persona for a Lifebuoy soap. We keep seeing the Lifebuoy ads all the time. What is the message that they pass in their ads? Because they're targeting a very specific client persona who is interested about sanitized clean hands, and they are not talking about. Whereas a Dove soap, is talking more about people who are not so worried about sanitizing their maybe in a cleaner environment all the time. They're more worried about skin which is not having freckles. They want a smooth skin and things like that. So these are very two different kinds of personas being targeted by these soaps. Lifebuoy soap was. So what is your client persona that you're targeting? Are you very clear with the visualization that whom are you targeting at the end of the day? What is your product or your solution that you're offering? Is it a new product? Is it a standard product which everyone is selling? Like when it comes to a domain registration, it's a highly standard product which everyone is selling. What is or are you selling an existing product with some variation in it, which gives them certain plus advantages? So in the refrigerator category, people keep coming with additional variations in it. So you need to define when you look at a keypad phone, BlackBerry, which was there, and then the touchscreen phone came in. That's a complete new product. A touchscreen was a completely new product, and it took some time for it to be established as a usable product for the entire market. But till that time, the keypad phones were the regular products. So what is your product? Are you offering a new product, or are you offering a standard product, or a standard product with some variations in it? Product features and functional benefits. The features lead to the functional benefits. Like for example, in a computer, a 8 GB RAM versus a 16 GB RAM computer, there is a functional benefit that comes out of it. SSD hard disk, solid state drive hard disk versus a regular old SATA hard disk. So SSD hard disk gives 3 times a faster performance over a regular SATA hard disk. So these are certain things that you functional benefits. So you want speed. We have SSD hard disk, which gives you highest, faster speed. Your machine opens up in a very fast. Like you see the Mac machines, you open it and it opens up really fast. It doesn't have a loading time coming on it because the OS is getting loaded. So that comes from the functional benefit, the SSD hard drive that's built into it. The functional benefits, then the emotional benefits, like I spoke about the bike, itself, that there are some emotional benefits, the good feel factor, etc., which makes the person choose that particular bike versus any other bike out over there. So does your product offer any emotional benefits? We need to talk about it. Jewelry is more about emotional selling. There is, of course, it's an investment asset class, but you also have the gold jewelry and the diamonds being sold more on the emotional benefits out over there. You also need to be very clear about, if your product is more of a standard product, then then why does someone choose you vis-a-vis someone else? Why should someone choose you? So what are the intangible benefits that you offer apart from the tangible benefits, which makes you choose them over others? Maybe you're next door to them. So when I go to some office which is very close by to my house, I tell them that I'm next door to you. You can always come and we can always meet as often as we want, and we can look at your strategy and work for you in a much more better way. Whereas if I'm going and meeting a customer who is in Andheri, or maybe someone who is in US, I will have to give a different intangible benefit for him to help him choose me. Maybe for a US client, I will say that my price benefit is something far better than what you would get from a local vendor out over there, and so on actually. But why chooses has to be clearly understood, and what's a typical customer buying process? Where do the targeted clients hang out so that you know where to go and run your campaigns across? What is the revenue per sales, and what is the number of sales required to break even? These are a few things that you definitely need to know. Now, we will have some questions that we will take, that I will be able to take at the end. I will not be able to take some questions right now. So you can keep sharing your questions in this particular window out here, and in the chat window out here. And Mangesh will take some of the questions and address it to me at the end of this particular session. Now let's look at one thing. Okay, just give me a minute actually. Now let's look at a few things that we can look at actually. The marketing funnel, we simplify the marketing funnel into 3 different segments. When it comes to acquiring the customers and acquiring the customers, we tend to keep it very simple. And we start with, it's broken up into TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU. When I say TOFU, I'm not really talking about the soya paneer which is available out there in the market, but we are talking about TOFU being top of the funnel, the mid of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. BOFU stands for bottom of the funnel. So when we get the initial set of targeted clients that we have, maybe we are being able to acquire a list from somewhere of people who could be our potential customers. Then we start targeting them. So when we start targeting them, we initially place them at the top of the funnel, and as they take certain call for actions, we move them down to the middle of the funnel, and from there down to the bottom of the funnel. So it's all based on the call to actions that they have taken. So we move them across the funnel in that particular manner. Now, if you don't have a database list, then we will be looking at how we can acquire a list of potential customers as we move forward in this presentation. But just to get started, let's just have an overview of what the TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU typically mean. Let's look at each one of them separately. So let me start with TOFU itself. TOFU is top of the funnel. So let's look at it. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So with TOFU is primarily top of the funnel, as we said, and here we look at what is the problem. The objective here is that we want to generate leads. We want to identify that out of these potential prospects out here who are really interested in our products at this particular point of time. So he may have a requirement. He may have just brought a refrigerator as of yesterday. So he has a need for a refrigerator, but he has bought one yesterday. For someone, he may not have the budget as of today. He may need a new refrigerator, but he doesn't have a budget as of today. He needs to maybe have something down the line. So we really are looking at all those set of people who may be having a requirement as of today. And of course, you can offer those EMI plans and all those things to convert even those customers who have a need but don't have a budget by putting them into a EMI bucket so that they're able to still purchase your product at the end of the day. So you tie up with a financial company and give him on a EMI basis. But having said that, the TOFU or top of the funnel is primarily intended to generate leads. The aim is to familiarize the targeted client persona with your products and business. So here you start with are these the challenges that you're facing in your business, and if these are the challenges, then we do have a set of solutions that can help you address your pain point. It's a very high level content out there. We'll go into more deeper and detailed later. But some of the types of content that we typically share over here is the free tips, free videos, ebooks, free checklist, etc. Let's quickly look at what is middle of the funnel all about. So BOFU is all about, here in the TOFU, we have looked at generating leads. BOFU is all about generating prospects. So yes, the customer is interested, but is he really wanting to go for it? So who are them who are more interested in opting for something as of now, or maybe in the next 2 to 3 months for that matter? So here you do a lot more, bulk of the content sharing is done at this particular stage, where we drip feed the content in the sense that we send it to them one at a time. And how do we drip feed the content? There are marketing automation tools available, or we maintain an Excel sheet and where we keep a track of what stage of content has been shared with them, and we take it up at the next level by sharing the next level of content. There is also social media content planner, email marketing automation. There are various tools available to take care of this. Once you reach a certain level of consistency, you can move to a paid automation tool to take care of this entire activity so that you don't need to do a manual one-on-one observation actually. You need to educate them a bit about your solution. So you need to share more content. The types of content that we typically share over here is free webinars, samples, case studies, product specification sheets, catalogs, product comparison if there are multiple players in that particular segment. So why you versus others? What are the specific set of circumstances where your product would stand out? And you would get a certain niche when you talk about product comparison. So you may not get the entire market share, but even if the niche is a slightly decent large market for your business, then it's better to be in a niche. Like for example, if you look at Bajaj, they have moved away from their scooter segment altogether, and they have moved into bike segment. And the bike segment also, they're very focused on a specific niche. They have been able to get that kind of thing in place where they have been able to have a kind of a good product mix out over there. So that's a kind of niche that they are present in, and where they're able to effectively compete with Hero Honda, which was the largest player at one point of time. They're able to win away a certain percentage of the market share across from Hero Honda. But that's what MOFU is all about. Here it is about generating prospects. It's about identifying all those people who are who will be interested in going ahead with your solution, because and they really have a need of it at this particular point of time. And lastly, we look at BOFU, which is primarily bottom of the funnel. And here we talk about generating sales, because the final objective is to generate sales. And here we look at, we have the qualified prospects and we want to enable them to take the final sales decision. Here the customers are typically very comfortable and they are aware about your brand, they're aware about your solution, and they are ready to engage you. One-on-one sales tie-in is something that they are happy to engage in at this particular point of time. So if you have a sales team at your end, you can deploy them. You could also do the entire closing on the via marketing methods also, for that matter, like Amazon, etc. does for that matter. It can be online based, it can be offline based, whichever way it is. Like right now, you know that this the typical types of content that you take. So there is a slight kind of a doubt that he has got. So how do you take care of all his objections and clinch the deal? That is what you're looking at. So you need to look at demos, free trial consultations, sharing of quotation, giving a discount offer, which is only valid for the next 10 or 15 days if you were to take a decision, guarantees, warranty. A money back program is a very common thing in our industry, in the hosting industry. We offer 30-day money back. Amazon Web Services offers 1 year of free program for you to try out their products before they start billing you. MailChimp offers 2,000 contacts free for lifetime. So these are different things that the industry tends to do out over there. And then there are bonus offers that you buy one and you get 2 more free. So a lot of coaching programs, if you were to attend, you'll always see that they have bonus offers. So they give discounts on their initial coaching itself, and plus they have bonuses to offer. So this is something that you can look at. Now, just a compilation of the marketing offerings that we spoke about what we can do at each part of the buying cycle. I will be sharing some of these slides with you, and this will help you to maybe plan out your entire marketing funnel itself. The key points that we need to take into consideration is that each funnel should match a product and solution. So if you have multiple products, you will have to create separate funnels for each one of them. So you'll have to create a separate TOFU, MOFU, BOFU for each of your product or solution that you have. It has to be based on your brand's business model itself, whether your business model is completely on-brand driven, partly online, partly offline, completely offline, whichever method you may choose, you need to base it on those same lines. Each funnel should match the targeted persona. Now, there could be certain products where you have a different targeted persona, but it's normally better to work across the same persona so that you can keep upselling to that particular persona at the end of the day. But it could be that you have a different persona for a different product solution and different persona for the other product and solution. And that kind of a scenario, you need to create a separate funnel for each one of them. The funnel has to encompass all these 4 points basically. And each funnel should be connected with 1 or more landing pages. Landing pages are extremely critical for you to get your website traffic at one place and collect the name, email ID, and mobile number of your prospects. So we in 10 also, we keep doing our programs all the time, and you must have seen that we have a communication that we send over WhatsApp. We have a landing page where we collect the details, and then we share the Zoom details across with them. And then we share the YouTube link after the event is over. There's a lot of things that we ourselves have set up over the last 1 year of COVID pandemic to ensure. And we are happy to state that, in 10, with these funnels in place, we have been able to generate 2,000 unique business owners database out over there, which is a big thing because in the initial 10 years, we hardly did 500 unique business visitors. And now we have more than 2,000 plus in the last 1 year itself. And it's growing all and more and more. We have been able to create a YouTube channel in the last 6 or 4 months for that matter. And we already have 200 registrations on our YouTube channel. And as I talk to you right now, we already have a live YouTube link also right now going on. And there are some participants who are watching us on the YouTube channel out there. So these are some things that you need to do for every business out here. And just giving an example about it. Quick tip, before we take it further from here and we discuss the 5 steps to starting off with your growth channel. One is that, the tip number 1 that I want to share for today is that without setting goals, your growth funnel won't be profitable. You need to have goals. You need to have benchmarks. So if I'm setting up for example, a landing page to collect people who are interested in this particular session that I'm doing today, then I need to know, okay, my goalpost is that I need to have 50 registrations for this particular event because we just announced this 2 days prior. So we kept a very minimal lookout, and we met those targets. We surpassed those targets also for that matter. But we said we want 50 registrations to happen. And for 50 registrations to happen, what do we need to do? So we have to send out emailers, we have to send out WhatsApp requests across various groups and so on. And we did those particular activities. We set up our Facebook page, we set up our LinkedIn page. We had a Bitly account in place to track the short link. The Bitly link has been shared. bit.ly link has been shared with all of you all. That helps me to track where are my prospects coming from. Are they coming from it shortens my URL, of course, and it also helps me to track where are they coming from. Are they coming from my WhatsApp posts? Are they coming from my email campaigns? Are they coming up from my Facebook campaign? Are they coming from LinkedIn campaign, and so on, actually, for that matter. So you need to have goalposts, and you need to work towards achieving those goals and targets. We set up the targets. I had my team working on it, and we surpassed the targets that we set up for ourselves. The goal is to have the prospect, the goal can be simple: to prospect, to open a mail, click on a link, submit a form, get the phone with you. It could be anything, because you're just creating the awareness at the stage one, actually. And before you move on to the middle of the funnel, the goal will be different. And at the bottom of the funnel, you want the sales conversions to be happening at the end of the day. So the needs are very different, the goals are very different out over there. And then the overall objective is that we want these many orders. So that's the overall objective that we have. Once your predefined goals are met in each stage, you can move your leads to the next part of the funnel, actually. So you need to move them across the funnel. Now let's quickly look at what we decided to discuss on today. That is the 5 steps that you need to do to get your first high growth funnel in place. If you have any questions so far, please keep putting it on the chat over there, so that Mangesh could take it up as we move to the question and answer session. Now let's look at the 5 steps that we have. So step number 1 is primarily providing high level overview content to prospects. So just a high level overview, we are talking about the pain areas that that exist in the market and what you can solve out over there. So there is a pain area that people want to scale up their business, and they don't know how to go about with their marketing plans, because most of them come from a typical background, which is either in sales or being in the technical competency, and then they start their own company as a business owner. Now they are a business owner, but they don't, they really, very few people come from the marketing background itself. And so they know the things that they need to do in sales, and they are able to reach their company up to a certain level. They know the operations, how it is to be taken care of. They have the right people out over there, the right connects out over there. They're able to get that thing handled very nicely. But then they get stuck on how to move from there to the next level, which is, to scale their growth at the end of the day. And that is where this thing comes handy. So you need to have a high level overview content that you create to engage. If you all are there on LinkedIn, and I would suggest each one of you all should be on LinkedIn, and you should be using LinkedIn on, spend at least 20 minutes on LinkedIn daily to attract and be getting connected with new people out over there. And if you are quite active on LinkedIn, you will see that, there are a lot of customers who keep, coming and, kind of putting out some small notes, some small snippets, talking about what is the value that they can create about, or what is the pain area that they typically address, and whether you are interested in collaborating with them to solve your own problem and things like that. These are very small snippets. Now this is a very high level content overview that we are really talking about. It can be as simple as 4-5 lines, just to attract and see if there is some kind of rationality, see if that person has a need at that particular point of time. It is not that he doesn't have a need, but he may be in a much more bigger problem, so he may not be ready to interact with you at that particular point of time. It doesn't mean that you stop following up with the lead. Typically, you should be following up with the ideal targeted client of yours for at least 6 months, because that is the time frame that they need to come and engage with you and decide to work with you. Before you disqualify the lead that you are no longer wanting that particular lead. But you could also do it over LinkedIn to start with. Actually, that's the most basic level of starting to identify your targeted client, search for those purchase managers, maybe in certain set of companies, send out those small snippets of communication out over there, and then take them through the next levels of content, so as to move them up down the funnel, actually, at the end of the day. And maintain an Excel sheet so that you know who is at what level and what is the next level, that when you need to reach out to them with the next level of content and so on. Actually, later on, once you have it in place, then there are tools available to automate the entire process. Even for LinkedIn data, you have tools available to automate the entire process. But that's a different discussion altogether. Now, have 2 to 3 high-level content. Use mediums such as email, LinkedIn, WhatsApp that can be used to target these prospects out over there. Now, if you don't have a database with you, you don't have a database list with you, like my daughter is in 8th standard, and there are a lot of coaching classes who have picked up her database from the school, and I have got almost 10 to 15 coaching classes calling me whether I want to put my daughter in their classes for 9th and 10th. And then they're asking me to come for those workshops and all those things. If you have a database list, your coaching class is in Vasant Vihar in Thane, and you have a database list of all those people who study in the nearby school, so you know that they stay nearby to a very large extent and they are probable prospects for you, then it's slightly easier. But if you don't have those kind of things, then you need to go and maybe do a campaign. Now, someone had asked this particular question: where do I identify where they hang out? Now, it's a B2B product, and if you're targeting the senior level executives, then LinkedIn is a good place to start with. There would be a lot of industry forums that are already happening in your industry, and you could be participating on those industry forums as a sponsorer to attract those set of people out over there. You could be working on Facebook if your set of people are not so literate, not so highly literate, I would say, and they are different. They are more of the wholesalers, they're more of the traders, etc. They are not so much on LinkedIn, but they are more present on Facebook for that matter. You could be using them. It's a creative field that you're targeting, then Instagram is the right choice for you to work with. So there are these primarily these channels, and even if you go and search for database of banking customers, if you're targeting the banking industry, or database of chemical manufacturers, you'll get that. There are certain magazines which come out for these industries. You could put your ad across those magazines. You could use Google AdWords to kind of go and say that all those people who are searching for these keywords, I would want to show my ad across to them. So there are multiple ways of identifying. Definitely, as of today, people are hanging out on Google. They are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. They are also available on these various forums which are happening from all the media companies are now completely online, and they're conducting so many Zoom forums. You could be a part of the sponsorer. You could be doing like, for example, I am doing a session in 10 because 10 contains SME business owners whom I typically target. So you need to identify that. It's not so difficult, but you can identify some of the platforms where they hang out, and you can definitely start reaching out across to them with some high level overview content and prospecting them out over there. Having said that, this is what you need to do in the step 1. So get this part correct. Just get started with this right away and start building your initial top level prospects out over there. Once you have these initial prospects who have tied in, who have come to your page, shown some interest across to you, maybe left their name and number, etc., downloaded the ebook that you had to offer, or checked out one of your videos that you had to offer, etc., then you can move to the second level out over there. Now, what happens with videos, etc., is that in Facebook, YouTube, etc., if you are putting out videos out over there, and if the people are consuming that content, then what happens is that you can run a paid campaign to all the people who watch that particular video. Facebook has that kind of an option available in that. YouTube has an option available in that. And then you're targeting only all those people who have already seen about your product and who have understood something about your offering. You're targeting them only with the pricing and with the offers, and maybe more of the case studies and things like that. So there are various ways of doing this, but let's look at the more of the organic way of doing this right now. We will not get into the paid campaigns immediately as of now, because that needs a certain maturity before you get on to paid campaigns. Otherwise, you end up burning your fingers. Now, we look at the second step, because we are talking about getting started. So I'm talking about the basics right now. I'm not going too deep into this entire marketing automation, marketing exercise itself with paid campaigns, etc. But the step 2 is nurturing the top of the funnel prospects. And once your prospects show interest, they are officially there in the top of the funnel because they've taken the first step of action. Maybe they've called you, they have downloaded your ebook, or maybe they have filled up the form that you gave out over there, and so on. And now here you want to deliver a massive value and gain their trust by sending out a hyper targeted content. Maybe you want to share some of the client testimonial videos out over there. You want to show how your product really works. You want to show a video of how your product really works. You You want, like we had a 10 video which showed about what 10 is all about. Now that's delivering that value to show what 10 is all about, building the trust with the audience out over there. And this content can be in form of blog posts, webinars, freebies, ebooks, videos, whatever you may seem fit. The only requirement is that the quality is good, because people don't want to read a standard content which is available very commonly. They really want to understand why you and how different you are, etc. So the quality of the content has to be really good. And when prospects show engagement by reading or downloading this content, you can move them to the next step. Now, always remember that the step 1, step 2, step 3, you need to move your audience, to the next step. So maybe that action is taken, it's recorded, you move them on to the next step. There are various tools to understand what recording has happened. It could be physical format, it could be an online-based format. You could use whichever of them, like someone is calling you, you note down their names and numbers, and then you move them to the next step. If it is more about someone filling up the form, then you have the database available in your backend, in your whatever landing page, content management system that you're using, and from there you take it and you move them to the next part of the funnel in your Excel sheet. Or you could be using marketing automation tools like Infusionsoft, HubSpot, and so on. That's something that we can definitely do. But it's very important to move them to the next step. Then you have the nurturing the mid-funnel prospects. Now they have shown some interest. They have also done some, they've seen also the videos that you have shared with them. A very simple activity like WhatsApp double tick also, for that matter, is a good thing. With email, you also get to know who have seen your content, or clicked and come online to the landing page and viewed your content and so on. So you could, if they have not seen it, you can repeat that activity once again. So maybe they missed out on your mail. Maybe they were busy with something else. So you could maybe share some more videos. Maybe you can share one more video or some different form of a newsletter out over there to see whether he's engaging with your content before you disqualify him at that particular stage. Now, in this mid-level part, that the prospects are interested in what you have to offer. They have typically a need for your particular product. And here you need to amplify your content about how your products and services can really help them actually. You can ask them to take a specific call for action, like signing up for a trial offer or for viewing a demo, and engaging. The more time they spend with you, more time they spend engaging with you, understanding your product, etc., the higher the chances is that they will end up buying your product. So maybe arrange a visit to go down to their place, talk to them in person. You could be looking at different kinds of activities, and also follow it up with your promises. So if you have said that I'll share a quote with you after this particular thing, do it immediately. Don't wait, or don't put it in the pipeline for too long. Otherwise, you'll end up losing the interest of that particular customer. Once you meet your predefined success benchmark, you can move your prospects into the last part of the funnel, and the last part of the funnel is primarily closing the sale. So you have to successfully move your prospects to the bottom of the funnel, and the only thing now is to clinch the deal. How do you clinch the deal? You basically have to give them various offers. You have to give them those, what we spoke about in the BOFU, the bottom of the funnel. You can give them discounts. You can give them bonus offers. 1 plus 2 more products free. You can put in a timeline that this offer is valid only for people who have attended today's webinar, and it's only for the next 3 days that this offer is open. Otherwise, you get it, but without the offer. You get the same product without the offer. You talk about the product comparisons. You talk about the money back guarantee and so on. Actually, out over here, you also talk about maybe 3 months free servicing that you give along with the product and whatnot. It could be you need to find out how to make yourself unique in the crowded market out over there, so that this part can really happen quickly for you. But imagine the customer is really hot over here, and it is your duty to ensure that you give him the best offer so that you can close the deal and move on to the next one in the pipeline. So it doesn't make sense keeping trying to be highly negotiating at this particular stage. Either he takes it or he leaves it. Fine, you don't need to give him too much of a discount. Give him only sweet, or make the offer sweet, but don't go over the board wherein you are not making any money at the end of the day. The last part is definitely maximizing the step 5 is that maximizing the retention. For us, the sale is not the objective. For us, the objective is to keep upselling, to keep getting referrals from him, to do cross-selling, to increase our average revenue with the customer, These are our much more higher objectives. We want to grow the customer actually, and this point is extremely critical in this entire step 1 to 5 part of it. Step 1 to 4, I think you all would also be quite familiar with it, and this part is something that you need to spend a lot more time working upon and ensuring that it can be taken care of by your team at the end of the day. So you need to look at the different ways that you can build your relationships, for ways to secure repeat business from the customer, increase the lifetime value of your customers, build customer loyalty, and generate more referrals. And typically the most common question that I have seen is that, you know, old customers, we say that, you know, retaining customers is less expensive in the long run than acquiring new ones. And that's what the marketing paradigm says, that retaining customers is less expensive in the long run than acquiring new ones. But typically, people come back saying that, you know, old customers want more and more discounts. So how do we handle that? At the end of the day, they are not feasible for us to retain in the first place. And here I would like to say that you need to build more value into your product. You cannot be selling the same product and expecting the customer to be paying you for doing something, you know, which is repetitive, and where your margins are going to increase because you're doing a repetitive activity. You're no longer doing the part of you know, wooing the customer, putting him through the funnel and all those things. So why would he want to pay you a higher sale margin for the lesser efforts that you are taking at the end of the day? So it's better to build more value into your product, build more features into your product, so that the customer feels that he is getting a higher value than what he started with, and that reason he tends to continue paying you your fees, or maybe even ready to pay you a slightly more higher premium now than what he was paying earlier. But if you don't innovate your product, you tend to sell the same thing at the end of the day. Even sandwiches need to be innovated. There are so many flavors of sandwiches available today with so many different toppings. Dosa had to be innovated, and you have dosa coming in 80 different formats today, or maybe 200 formats today. Pizza had to be invented. Everything has to be, you know, innovated and upgraded all the time. If you don't do that, people tend to get bored of it. People are no longer excited by your product offering. People no longer want to have your product. So that's something that you need to do it in the retention period. You need to also look at innovating your product so that customers tend to feel excited about your product and are happy to be continuing their relationship with you as much as you are, and wanting to continue your relationship with them. I think, you know, we covered these 5 steps. I'm not going too much in detail, but I think the broad overview helps you to now start thinking how you can take it from here. But I'm coming more or less to the closing part of my session, and I think I have got another 15 minutes to go, if I'm right, Mangesh. 12:45 is what my time I need to end, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Mangesh. So the funnel mistakes that we should avoid, actually, you know. So the most common mistake, and it's not necessarily mistake, it also at times means that you may not have the bandwidth or the tools or the kind of people available to do some of these activities, but these are going to cost you at the end of the day. One is no personalization, you know. So you have collected the person's name, number, email ID, so whenever and where you have acquired the customer from. Like if you have seen from some of you all who have been attending our programs continuously, you also know that we have a webinar which you are attending at the bottom of our questionnaire. So I know that where have you come from, and which webinar have you started with for the first time with us, and how many webinars you have attended over the last so many months with us. This is the kind of a journey that I am capturing already about you, and that we at 10 know about our customers at the end of the day. I do that in my business also with my own CRM software out over there. Do you have your own CRM softwares? Are you keeping a track of your customers, and where have they joined, and what point are they with you at this particular point of time? What are the various upsells that they have purchased from you? And if they're not purchasing your upsells, why are they not purchasing your upsells? Have you gone then asked them, why are they not interested in taking your upsells? It is very important for you to know your customers really well. KYC, they call it, right? Know your customers. And that's really important, not only for the banks and for the customers, but it's important for each one of us to know our customers really, really well. This particular thing, personalization of data, dear, when I say dear participant, does that sound good? Or when I say dear Mr. Mangesh Patole or dear Mr. Sunil, does that sound better? So when I say dear participant, the end visit customer knows that It's a common post that I'm sending across to all of you all. And in 10 also, we have not been able to personalize that yet, just because of lack of time. It's not because that we don't have the tools or the manpower, etc. We are so engrossed with our daily business, and it becomes slightly difficult at times to do that. But it's something that we plan to take care of down the line. But that personalization is important. And if I were to add this line, we thank you for attending or registering our webinar, so and so. We also are thankful that you have found our previous 5 sessions useful, because I have the data that he has attended 5 of my sessions. And then find the link below for your currently registered webinar. If I were to do that, the customer will feel so happy that I take notice of him. He will find it as a very personalized content. Say maybe you met someone at an event, and you as a company participate in 6 events a year. Now, when your communication goes out, if it always says, "Dear Ram, we had met at this particular exhibition, and I loved connecting with you at that particular point of time. I just wanted to get to your notice about this new product that we have launched in our company and see whether it is of interest across to you." If you were to have that kind of a communication on LinkedIn, do you think that that guy is going to take more notice of you compared to you just saying, "Dear Ram, we have recently launched a new product, so and so. Would you be interested in this particular product?" Which one will give you a lot more relationship at the end of the day? Which one will help the person to take notice of you at the end of the day? So you need to personalize your content. Lack of or no testing, that is the most common issue, and we also have those things at times. But for me, at least, I know that the testing has happened. I know that there is an error. Sometimes I tend to go ahead with that for whatever reasons. But many customers I've seen that the testing is not done. And that is where I would normally suggest that in your marketing team also you need to have a checker and a maker system. The person who makes it may tend to lose out some of the errors because he's doing so many things at the end of the day. He's rolling through so many activities, creating the graphics, putting in place the different social media pages, sending out an email campaign, getting the website, highlighting the event on the website, putting up a pop-up in place, sharing it with the WhatsApp team out over there. There's so many different activities that he's doing. He tends to make an error. It's a very normal thing, however experienced he may be. And if you have a checker who can run through the content, check the spellings. The most common thing that we also make at times is 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We sometimes say 11:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. PM का एक छोटा गलती हो जाता है. The content has to be proofread multiple times and all those kind of things. So the checker, once he's used to the entire system, he knows what are the common errors that can happen, and he definitely runs through it very quickly and ensures that those errors are not being repeated. So that is the kind of a checker maker system you need to have. No fancy mumbo jumbo. If I were to talk in Chinese with you all right now, would you understand what I'm saying? No, right? So it is not required for you to use a fancy language. All the customer is interested in is whether you can solve his pain area. If you can solve his pain area, is more than happy to give you the business. And two, how committed you are to do that in an effective manner. That's the only 2 things that he's interested in. He's not interested in your literature. I at times there are some people who are interested in your literature, and there are different ways that people look at buying your product. If it's a technical product, then people are definitely, and the targeted persona is more of an engineer, especially. He does look at more of the specifications before he's ready to buy your product. But if he is a non-engineer, I have seen that they read only the first big image photograph with the caption, maybe 3-4 lines, and they register. So we always have the call to action at multiple stages in our content. Ki tum yahan tak padh liya and you want to just go ahead, please go ahead. We don't want you to get bored by reading the remaining content. But if you're not satisfied, please go through the remaining points, get satisfied, see our testimonials, see our certifications that we have got from various organizations, see the whatever other specifications that we have to share about the product. Feel completely convinced and then get in touch with us. So whichever way it is, but try to keep it as less fancy mumbo jumbo. Keep the language really simple for them to understand what exactly you're talking about. Over nurturing is the most common problem. If you've seen Shark Tank, for that matter, I keep watching it regularly, and I would suggest each of you business owners to have a look at it. People come there, they present the pain area. They have a very fixed format. So you as a Shark Tank, when you come on Shark Tank for an investment, you need to talk about the pain area. You need to talk about the problem that you're solving. You need to talk about the solution that you have found to this particular problem, or the opportunity that you're creating for the end customer. You need to talk about the investment that you want, and then you need to answer some of their questions out over there. And at certain point of time, those guys, the Shark Tanks, they also need to take a decision in a certain point of time, and they are ready to take a decision. Now, either if you're not able to read the signals correctly, you start, overselling yourself, and that point of time, maybe you open up some things which is not really needed, and you may end up losing the deal. So you need to know when to stop talking, when to start listening, actually, for that matter. The over nurturing kills the deal. Don't over nurture your customers. When you know that they are warm enough, go for the kill. Go for the kill. And lastly, letting your data go bad. You have a set of prospects who have shown interest, and then you don't reach out to them in a certain specific targeted point of time. You're not passing on the next part of the funnel content across to them, and you end up losing your data. You end up losing the people in the funnel. They just lost. They vanished, and they won't come back in the funnel once again. That's something that you need to be really, really careful about, and it is a very high probability that that these things do happen. My second tip for the day is that how can you add value? Keep always asking yourself, how can you add value? Add value in various ways, various ways for that matter. Defining and segmenting the leads in order to deliver targeted content generally helps the potential customers, while educating them about your brand is a model that works. So you need to be helping them. At the end of the day, it's all about helping them. And here I am helping you all to understand this entire thing, how it works, so that you can take a conscious decision whether you want to go ahead and implement marketing for your organization and how to take it further from them. I'm also educating you. These are things that I'm doing. And at some point of time, you feel that you want someone to be there along with you in the journey. That is where I come in as a consultant and help you in your journey to achieve the goals that you're setting up for yourself. And I'm building relationships with each one of you all out over here. Lead nurturing is all about building relationships, and that is what even I am here to do for you. This is what even 10 as a platform has been doing for the last 10 years. They have been building relationships with so many business owners, sharing so much of, getting so many good people to come onto the platform and share valuable content with our members out over there. And we have had some fantastic members joining us in the last 2 to 3 months, actually, very fantastic members for that matter. And that all came out of the, we helping the business owners to achieve their potential and helping them to scale up their business at the end of the day. So keep asking yourself, how do you add value? Just to sum it up, what all we discussed today, we looked at marketing funnel versus the high growth funnel comparison. We looked at the importance of a high growth marketing funnel. We looked at the marketing funnel stages by itself, the TOFU, MOFU, BOFU, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel, what we do there. We looked at the most important tip, that is, without setting your goal funnel won't be profitable. We need to set goalposts, and we need to make sure that we reach those goalposts, or maybe change our strategy a bit to ensure that we reach them. And the 5 steps of the high growth marketing funnel is what we looked at: provide high level content to our database list, nurturing the TOFU prospects, nurturing the middle of the funnel prospects, closing the sale, maximizing the retention. Most importantly, the mistakes that we need to avoid. And lastly, the last tip for the day, which is always ask how you can add value. Keep asking that in every funnel stage. Keep asking that in your product development stage. Keep asking that when you're in front of your customers. Keep asking wherever you are. And I think that itself will tell you how you can keep innovating your product and be the market leader in the days to come. With this, I close my session, and I leave it to for question and answers to take up. Thank you. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Ram. It was a wonderful session. One of the most simplistic session on the funnel marketing I have attended. And if you allow me, I want to share one quote. I am not able to recall the author's name, but it says that good marketing makes the company look smarter, but the great marketing makes the customer feel smarter.
Yes, very true.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mangesh.
Ram, if you allowed me, then we can allow the participant to directly ask the question rather than posting it on, because we have a limited number of participants. So yes. I will request if any of the participant is having questions, then they can unmute themselves and ask question directly to Ram.
Welcome.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, Ruchi, go ahead,
Yes.
Ruchi.
One at a time, but.
Sure. So my first question would be, any special measures other than discounts to retain existing customers?
No, discounts is not to retain your customer. Discount is to clinch the deal, actually.
Okay.
So discount is not the method to retain your customer. Retain your customer, you would need to add more value to the customer.
Because at times what happens is you give them a discount at the initial stage, and then they keep expecting a discount at every stage. So how do we avoid that situation, or how do we still retain them without giving them any more discounts?
So if you were to read the Robert Cialdini's book on persuasive selling,
okay.
There are some 7 different types of persuasive selling. Discount is built into your product offering. So you increase your product price first,
okay.
and then you build in your discount. I don't know how many of you all buy on things on Amazon. So people go on to Amazon just because there's a discount, but that doesn't mean that the seller is not making a margin at the end of the day. So you need to increase your product price. You need to build in a discount so that he feels that he's getting a discount. It's a very important part of the entire process. But you don't need to overload the discount.
Yes.
You don't need to go behind your discount. You need to tell them that, I'm giving you a discount, I'm giving you money back, I'm giving you an additional bonus on the top of it. Build the value into it.
Okay. And my second question is also sort of relating to that only. Any specific examples of over-nurturing leads? I mean, sometimes we go out of the way to, accommodate them more, but sometimes it just gets a little exhausting. So what would be another examples of over-nurturing needs, and how do we, overcome that?
There are 2 reasons where over-nurturing happens. One is that the customer is not exactly maybe your customer. He's maybe wanting to get into your segment, and that is why he's asking you too many questions. It may not be necessarily be a true buyer at the end of the day.
Okay.
2 is that with you have given him set of reasonable amount of details for him to take a consideration for your product. Your shared video testimonials,
sure.
Your shared product specification sheets, your shared product comparison documents. You have shared, you have given him offers also at the end of the day. That's good enough for him if he's really wanting the product to go for it itself. At certain point of time, you need to stop. Maybe he's not in that. He's not having the budget. Maybe at that point of time with him,
right.
And that is where he's not wanting to convert. He may not say directly to you that I don't have a budget. Many of the customers never say on the face that they don't have a budget. They for whatever reasons, it's a psychological stand that they take. That they never want to say that I don't have a budget. It could be that he's busy with some other project and he's not wanting to opt for your solution at that particular point of time, because after buying your product, he has to do a few more things for him to make some money out of your purchase at the end of the day. So,
right.
So it's okay. You need to stop. You just need to stop. You need to know that you need to have a defined marketing strategy. This is where I stop.
Okay. Thank you. That was really insightful.
Hey Ram, this is Pinku here.
Yeah, hi Pinku.
Yeah, thanks for giving us great insight. I have a question.
Yeah.
We are into service business. Basically, we are not in the product. So it's B2B in services. And on LinkedIn, once we establish the first connect, invitation is also accepted with the 300 character limitations. We write personalized message, all those things.
Yes.
Then also the person doesn't come back. So what is the frequency we should keep it to follow up and engage dialogue? And so what are the tips and tricks, if you can share, it would be really helpful.
So Pinku, here again, it's based on your industry and your services that you're offering. So if it depends on what is the kind of service. So if it's, for example, an event for that matter, then I know that there is a certain timeline at which my offer stops. So that is something where you only follow up to that particular stage. But if it's a service which is kind of a lengthy, like for example, my service, which is a website designing or maybe a digital marketing service, and there is nothing. But there, what you can do is that you can interact with the customer, you can share with them those videos and all those things, and you make an offer. You need to make an offer at certain point of time. Once you've warmed him up and he has shown certain interactions by asking you a few things. So you first time you shared 2-3 contents and you asked him whether you are interested in collaborating. If he doesn't respond back to you, it doesn't make sense to keep following up with him. But in case he has responded and he says, yes, I'm interested in a collaboration, can you share some more details, etc. Then at that point of time, you share some more details across to him. And then for him to make a decision, you need to make an offer. At a certain point of time, you need to make an offer. And that offer, you need to keep it sweet. You need to tell him that this offer is valid only for the next 10 days. Without the offer, the product or service is still available, but then it will be without the offer, or the price will increase from the next month onwards or next quarter onwards, or whatever for that matter. And you need to keep changing your product offering from time to time. You cannot keep going to the market with the same product and expecting the customer to believe that your price is going to increase. I don't know how many of you all use Udemy for that matter. Udemy is an e-learning platform. And on Udemy, initially, when they wanted to create awareness, they were giving their courses free. Then they started charging 450 rupees, etc. for those courses. Now they have a few courses where people have shown a lot of interest, and there have been initial lot of buyers who have come at that 450 rupees price point, and they have given good ratings, etc. They have taken the price to the actual price of actually 8,000 rupees. So you will need to look at what point of time, you have to have a model in place wherein the customer knows that when you say that this offer is only for now, it's only for now. And next time they will get a product, but it's a different product. It may not be the same service or same offering. So you need to build your, so you need to solutionize, productize your services also. That's what I would say. Your services are there, but you need to productize your services. How do you productize your services? What you need to do.
Thanks, Ram. Thanks for this information. Thank you very much.
Any more questions for Ram, participant? Ram, I have two basic questions, typically from the MSME perspective. Okay,
yeah.
These are very small basic questions. What is the difference between marketing and advertising?
So marketing is basically more of a strategy. It encompasses, as I said, the different areas of your business. And then within marketing, you have marketing communication. That's what we spoke about, the different types of content and offerings and all those things. Advertising is about amplifying that marketing communication to your targeted audience. So it's more like, for example, you have a new product that you have launched in your industry, like more simple example could be that in COVID times, some COVID products have come up and you're amplifying that your product is available. And these are the features available in your mask. These are the different types of layers and all these protections and this, that, and functional benefits that you have to offer. But you're amplifying it so that you are able to generate orders for your business. So advertising is more about amplifying it to your targeted audience.
Thank you. Second question is how to change the mindset of the MSME owners. If you typically look at the industry thumb rule, okay, the 5% or the 10% of the total revenue of the company ideally should be spent on the marketing expenses, as a marketing expenses. But we see this as a big challenge as far as the mindset of the MSME owners are concerned. They have a lot of apprehensions in their mind that ye zyada ho raha hai marketing ka sales. Can you just share your thoughts on the same?
No, what happens with the MSME is that most of the MSMEs are in the manufacturing segment typically. So we are not talking about the service industry.
Yeah, service industries, professional service industry. You can take our example also.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
No, see, there is typically, there is two models of marketing versus sales. Now, when your product pricing is product is complex in nature and the product pricing is also high, then typically a one-on-one engagement gives you the desired results. And that is where most of these companies opt for a one-on-one engagement because they know who their targeted audience is. They have identified them. They have a clear perspective that these are the only 10, 15, 20 companies that they want to approach. And they know that the product is complex, so they need to go across to them, pitch their product, get the trials done, and so on, and maybe and then maybe sell it across to them. But if you were to have certain products which are not so complex in nature, which are not high in price, then you could be looking at getting into the marketing groove. Now, many of these MSME customers are not looking behind 20 customers. But once you start looking at maybe a global market or maybe a pan-India market, and you know that you want to get maybe around, say, 200 customers or maybe 500 customers in your industry of that same level, then maybe you will start looking at marketing as a means to reach that particular goal. And there you will maybe look at a webinar kind of a format like what we are doing right now, which could be one of the best ways to get in a closed audience of 10, 15 people, doing a presentation, sharing the pain points, sharing the solution, and talking about these things, and then taking them up the curve down the line via maybe one-on-one interactions or maybe further content sharing, etc., and finally reaching your goal post out over there. But I think it's basically that many of the MSMEs don't know how to do it, or they don't have the bandwidth and time and energy because they're too busy in the operations of their business to be able to roll out their marketing campaign itself. They need to hire marketing people, and I think that is where they need to create that department. All the corporates have a marketing department. Unless you don't have a department in place, it becomes slightly difficult.
They have a department that is much underappreciated and not funded at times. Thank you for that elaborate answer, Ram. My last question is, you will also agree the critical part in closing the deal is between the step 3 and step 4, that is mid-level nurturing and the final close. Typically in our industry also, we take 3 calls to close the deal. The first is the initial inquiry, the scope of work and the expertise of the company and the product we are offering. Second typically involves the commercial part and the cross-reference of the existing client. But there is a substantial delay whenever there is a closing which is required. The client doesn't revert on the third call, that is the closing of deal. So can you just share some tips how to keep the engagement level going in between the step 3 and step 4, that is mid-level nurturing and the final closing?
So typically what happens is that if your solution or offering is not highly differentiated from in terms of value for them compared to their current offerings for them, that is where customers are not able to decide whether they want to go with your solution offering or not, for that matter. And that basically means that you need to add more value to your services or offering so that they see a tangible benefit. For example, that you have a car which is giving you a mileage of say 8 kilometers per liter, and you have on the other side a new car which could give you maybe 20 kilometers per liter. Then you would want to maybe do a switch over to a new car because there are two things. One, there is a capital cost involved, so there is a cost which I'm currently not incurring. That capital cost is something that I have to put in, but I'm getting a long-term benefit too. Plus I'm getting a new vehicle with lesser maintenance, etc. But if the tangible benefit is only say 2 kilometers, from 8 to 10 kilometers average mill run, or maybe 11 kilometers for that matter, then I look at my capital cost and I say, but I need to invest this capital cost now. And do I have my purse is limited. My purse has got a limited cash, and there are multiple other things also I need to spend on. So which is my higher priority? So unless you don't up your value, it is slightly difficult at times to get that deal faster. And two, right now the approach is still that you're following is a very customized solution to your end customer. That itself makes your pricing slightly higher. Maybe you could productize some of your services so that they are more repetitive in nature, wherein the pricing could come down and maybe keep only a small part of the entire thing as customized in nature, which enables the customer to get a lower pricing at the end of the day. So it's either the price or the value. One of these two, which has to be very much high there over there.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Ram, can I last question for the session? Yeah. Tell us more about the marketing or Instagram marketing. Is there any tool available or the business model or the paid version for the Instagram advertising?
That is slightly difficult for me because I'm more of a B2B marketing specialist at the end of the day. And that is why I've come on a forum like 10, because I understand that more of B2B marketers are out over here. But having said so, when it comes to Instagram marketing, the marketing channels typically only mean that you've got a different type of audience available out over there. Since Instagram is a product of Facebook at the end of the day, and the campaigns that are run on Instagram are all done through the Facebook advertising engine itself. So the method of marketing remains the same. You are able to choose your demographic of audience. Say, for example, we were targeting in one of my other business which is out over there. We were targeting a child development activity. It was a franchisee that I had taken for a short time. So we were doing a child development workshops actually out over there. And there we wanted to target people who, we didn't have a list. We didn't know who are the parents who are having children in the age of 5 to 15 years. So there we were using Facebook and Instagram both for that matter. Our target audience, what I had defined as my client persona, was people in the age of 30 to 50 years, and that is where they would be having children between the age of 5 to maybe 15 years for that matter. And we were targeting people who were working in IT companies, pharma companies, and government jobs, because there the pay scales are slightly higher. Our product was priced at around 30,000 rupees. And the model that we had adopted was that we invited them for a free workshop. So our Facebook campaigns ran that, child development workshop. We showed that the child is becoming a Superman, and with the was reaching out to the sky. So do you want to take your child to the next level? And we have this workshop, free workshop for 4 hours, where there is a parent orientation program plus a child workshop where the child is happy doing her part in the other room, and you as a parent are attending the parent orientation program. And people would sign up because it's a free workshop. It was on a Sunday, so it was like a get outing for the family, taking the children along and coming out for some outing, not going to a mall and spending money out over there. So they used to end up coming for these particular programs. And when they came up, we used to do there was a person who would do a speaking session out over there, and he would talk about the pain areas, what are the different challenges, and this, that, etc., and why our product some of the things that they can do. And plus we have a 12-month subscription program which they can opt for, which will give these kind of tangible and intangible benefits. And our price, the product was priced at roughly around say 60K, and we would offer it at around 25K with a lot of bonuses, etc. And we had almost 70% of the 200 parents that would attend ending up buying the product. So anywhere between 60 to 70% conversion ratio. That was really, really huge by any standards, and it was not a cheap product. 30,000 rupees people are paying upfront on the counter, 5,000 rupees, and signing up for that particular thing and paying the remaining within the next 10 days. So it's really something that you can do on Instagram. As long as you understand your demographic client persona very clearly and you know whom to approach, you can define those demographics and run your campaign across to those people out over there.
Okay. Thank you, Ram.
Ram, I have one question. Can I ask question, Mangesh?
Yeah, the last one, Pinku. Tell me.
Okay. Ram, as you mentioned, there are different tools for high growth market, creating a marketing funnel. What is the importance as a SME we should keep to build the website, the top 5 things? And in the market, another question connected with that. When I go in the market, I find the website developer starting from 5,000 rupees to 2 lakhs rupees. So it's very hard for the SMEs service provider to select and what kind of website to be developed. So that two questions, if you can answer us. Thank you.
Okay, a very valid question which I can answer given my industry experience of 20 years in this particular web as a running a web agency. Now, if you look at the key components that you need to have in a website, and I think it's fairly same for whichever industry you may come from, the website has to talk about your key offerings, why someone should choose you, what are the key differentiators, and more about your different certifications that you have received from various agencies out there. The ISO certification or whichever travel industry has got different set of affiliations that they need to have, and so on. So what are that you have? And lastly, the customer testimonials and the client showcase. What are the clients that you have and what are the principal partners that you are affiliated with to provide that offering, if there are any principal partners that you're working with. So these are the broad components. Now, each of the product offering by itself again has to have these components. So each of the product pages has to talk about what is the product, what is that you offer uniquely in that particular product segment and whom it is targeted towards. So your start of the lines have to say that, dear, like in our 10 WhatsApp posts, we have dear business owner, which we start with. So we are clearly identifying that this particular program is for business owners out over there. So dear business owner, are you facing these challenges? And then we have this solution which works towards satisfying this particular challenges. And these are being trusted by these many people out there So some numbers also maybe that you can talk about, how many clients you have sold, how many years that you have been in business, what are the touch points that you have done, how many branches you have, and so on. And then some testimonials and so on actually. Now, that's the way that you build your website, and each of the website page has to have a call to action. So for more to request a quote or something, these are the things that you need to do, or maybe, sign up for a free trial or things like that. Now, when you go out looking for a web designer in the market itself, yes, there are people who are available between 5K to 2 lakh rupees, and I can't be judgmental whether a 5K designer is good or bad, or whether a 2 lakh designer is good or bad. But what you need to look at is what is his understanding of marketing itself, because you as a business owner can only do as much. He needs to be adding value on the top of your thoughts. Whether he can be a partner with you in the entire process of designing a website, whether he can add value in terms of content ideas, maybe he can help you with the video shoots, maybe he can create some content for you at the end of the day. How much industry understanding does he have about your own industry? And when I typically look at people who are doing in the 5K category, they are people who understand the tools, but they have no idea about marketing. They don't have any idea about your industry. They don't, whatever you give, they paste it. That's all they do out over there. Typically, a good designer should be able to understand marketing well, understand your industry well, be able to add value on your thoughts, and be able to help you reach your goal benchmarks that you have said. That it's very difficult to get your customer onto your website, but the moment he comes, it is desirable that there is a conversion that's happening for you. If that's not happening for you, the web designer has not done the job for you.
Thank you very much, Ram.
Thank you, Pintu. Thank you, Ram. Ruchi, I had shared the link of our YouTube channel on our chat box. So this entire session will be uploaded. You can check it over.
It's already live right now.
Yeah.
It's already there.
I'll request Deepak to continue the next part of the meeting.
Thank you so much, Ram, with such deep insights. I would now request Rajiv for the vote of thanks, please.
Hello.
Yeah, Rajiv. Yes, Rajiv.
I'm audible?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all. On behalf of 10 and all the participants, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ram, who is already our member, for his insightful thoughts on this marketing strategy. Basically, I come from a service provider background. So this was a lot of learning for me, like how maybe some of these things more from not from a product perspective, but also from services. How we could use this thing. So this has been a really very insightful session and very focused on the 5 important things which Ram mentioned about this marketing. So thank you, Ram, for enlightening all of us. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the participants who have participated in this session, as well as all the 10 members who are always supporting and contributing to these sessions. Thank you all.
Thank you, Rajiv. Friends, what you saw today is what 10 members share every fortnightly. Positive energy, knowledge about what's happening in the industry, support to any operational problem that is beyond our domain expertise, opportunity to learn from and mentor fellow entrepreneurs. An added benefit is the chance to attract a lot of business. Budding or established entrepreneurs are welcome to join join 10, and you can take a call to become a part of 10. To know more about the membership, you can touch base with our relationship manager, Mr. Mangesh Patole. Right. Thank you. And you can note down the contact details.
Yeah. Already shared my number over chat box, Deepak.
Right, Mangesh. Thank you so much.
Thank
you all. Thank you all for attending and making such a positive contribution. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Mangesh. Thank you, Ram. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sure. Bye-bye. Thank you.